I've made multiple six figures last year trading meme coins by catching 100 X's early, avoiding rugs, and being able to execute fast. And it's not just me. Traders are making these gains every single day, but it's not gonna last forever. So lock in on this video. I'm gonna be breaking down the tools that we use and exactly how to navigate it so you can profit from meme coins as well. I'm gonna give you access to one of the best tools in the space, and I'm gonna show you the setup, the filters, Twitter tracking, wallet tracking, and everything else that you need to know to spot meme coins before they explode. By the end of this video, you'll know how to execute trades fast and early, avoid scams, and 10x your port within weeks, if not days. This is the only video that you're ever gonna need to be able to level up and make consistent profits as a trader. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so you see here the tool that we're gonna be using for this strategy to work is Axiom Pro. This is the tool that all the best traders are using. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. It's gonna give you double the rewards and 10% off fees. That's better than any other rate that you can get at the time. So once you create an account with the promo code RAGE or the link below, what you're gonna do is you're gonna fund up. So you're gonna go here and you're gonna press deposit, and you can send Solana to that address. And if you don't have any Solana, you can buy right off of Axiom because they are partnered with Coinbase as well. Now, Axiom is the only platform as of right now that's backed by a huge company, Y Combinator, based out of California. They fund some of the biggest protocols. They fund Coinbase, they funded OpenSea, and it's just a really secure, safe, doxed company that's backing Axiom Pro. So that's something that we've rarely ever seen before, and that's what made me go all in on Axiom from the very beginning. So as soon as you get on Axiom, you see Pulse with new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. And this is basically just the journey from a meme coin being created in Pump Fund all the way to being migrated into an actual decentralized exchange. Now, on a decentralized exchange is where the mass amount of people are actually getting their eyes on these tokens. So us being on a platform like this automatically gives us eyes on these tokens first. So the whole idea is to find meme coins before they explode, because even before they get on centralized exchanges, they'll be migrated into decentralized exchanges. So you see, we are way in the beginning of the whole process. So if you go over here to new pairs, I'm gonna jump straight into the filters. We're gonna cut all the fluff, all the bullshit. So you see here on new pairs, you're gonna have pump protocol only, okay? I was messing with boot, but all these other ones aren't really gonna have as many runners. All the cooks are gonna be on Pump Fund still. So if we go to audit, we're gonna put a 5-minute max and 7% max dev holding. So on metrics, we're gonna put a 9,000 minimum market cap. Now, being that the volume is so hot right now, we're gonna actually increase that to 10,000. Then final stretch means it's midway bonding over to migrated. All right, because at a certain market cap, which is usually 70K, 80K, depending on Solana's price, that's going to be where the token bonds into decentralized exchanges, where you see it on things like Phantom or Dex Screener. So same thing here, you only wanna see pump, and we're gonna go ahead and put a 15-minute minimum this time, just because again, the markets are a lot more hot and we want to filter it a little bit more down. So metrics is going to be 15,000 and 15,000, okay? Volume minimum and market cap minimum. Now, in the case that the market is really hot and it doesn't filter it enough, then you can raise that as well. Because by raising those minimums, it filters it down even more, so you only see the most potential. Because remember, guys, most of these coins are going straight to zero. 98% of Pump Fund tokens never even make it. So that's the whole idea of scanning, being able to scan the good tokens from the bad tokens. And when you're scanning, especially if you're new, you do not want to trade alone. And this is why I created a group, an alpha group called Rage Pro, where we have advanced tools and serious traders who scan on voice chats together, and we're able to share alpha, which is coins that are going to run, things that we scan that have potential. And in this group, we were able to catch 1,000x's, 100x's, 30x's. We catch 10x's every single day in our alpha chat. So if you're new to this, even if you're not new to this, if you're serious about trading, you want to join an alpha group. You can check that out as well in the link in the description. And I also have a free version with a full course, and it's the most comprehensive course. No guru has ever put out this amount of information on the topic if you guys want to dive a little bit deeper. So moving on to migrated, you're going to have pump. Now here, I'm kind of looking at Boop. I want to see what type of Boop coins migrate. This is just something that I'm testing. I want to see if it has any type of potential, but you could keep it on pump here as well. I don't have an age limit here, just a metric limit of $45,000 minimum market cap, and you go ahead and apply that. So since volume is so high, I'll go ahead and increase this to 60,000 minimum market cap, just to show us some of the more higher potential coins that are actually holding up. So the next thing that you want to do is set up buy settings. So on previous videos, I showed you guys, if you have a low port, you can just do the minimum, and Axiom is so beastie that it's still going to give you godly fills. But for the most part, since volume is picking up, Sol is at 161 right now, and it's just climbing really fast. I'm gonna show you my main preset. So 30% slippage and anywhere from 0.02 to 0.05 on priority, and same as bribe. This is the minimum that you want to do when the market has high volume. And then I have MEV protection on, and that's basically bots that come in and front run your trade. It gives you a bad entry and then dumps on your buy. Steals Solana from you and gives you a bad entry. That sucks. In other platforms, when you use MEV protection, it tends to slow down your transactions, like Bullex, Nova. It's not that fast, but with Axiom, you still get godly fills regardless. So that's why I suggest using a platform like this. And then on sell settings, I have 100% slippage, just because when I want to get out of a trade that's dumping really fast, I just want to get out. Anywhere from 40 to 80% will suffice. And then same thing, 0.02 to 0.05, and then a 0.01 bribe, because it's rare that you get MEV'd on sales anyway. So you're gonna go ahead and click continue. And what you're gonna do next is you're gonna look at display. Now you guys can copy my display settings. The ones that are grayed out are the ones I don't really look at. Bundles on Axiom don't tend to be the most accurate. It is good, but it's not accurate. Dex paid as well. I use a different tool called Focane. It is a Google Chrome extension that shows you when the Dex is paid automatically, and even shows you the Dex banner, which I'll show you in a second. So you could use these same customizations, or you can edit it yourself. And what I also like to do is put mega big buttons for your quick buys, right? Because I want it to take up as much real estate on my screen as possible, so I could get into quick buys really fast. And you could set up your quick buy here, however much you want, 0.05, 1 Sol, or even 2 Sol, whatever it needs to be. And then when you're scanning, you're gonna see the main analytics here. So top 10 holders, you don't wanna see that more than like 25%, because these people could just dump on the chart at any given point. Snipers, these are people who get in early on a launch with a lot of supply, and they tend to dump on the chart as well. You don't want too much of that. And then insiders are people who have supply but never bought supply. So maybe they got sent supply or whatever the case is. And then if you open up the ticker, you see the token information here as well. And then bundles, like I said, in Axiom don't tend to be the most accurate. It's pretty good though. I like to use an advanced tool that we use in Rage. And you can see here, I could go ahead and put in a command, bundle check, paste the CA, send it in, and it'll give me a more accurate bundle held percentage. And you can see here, 36% bundled, and it shows you exactly where the bundles are. And that isn't a coin that you probably want to get into right away. Now, I'll tell you guys this, you don't want to take these metrics straight at face value. It could be a red flag, but at the same time, a lot of coins could start off bundled or a high top 10 percentage, but it tends to even out. Distribution will clear out as the coin gets bigger. A lot of teams, a lot of projects tend to bundle their tokens so they can get paid for, pushing the token, or, top 10 holders or certain snipers in a trade who have a lot of supply. So right here is an example of a bundle getting cleared out, right? And we saw we didn't want to get in a trade because it was actually inaccurate here. It was bundled a lot more. So you don't want to get in a trade when it's bundled that much, because the bundle could clear out on you. Unless it's a lot of volume and it's a strong narrative, then bundles will clear out and volume will still push past certain market caps regardless. You'll build an intuition of when to bend the rules, but it's still important to know the rules. With that being said, you can see on migrated, this is going to be the safest place on Pulse. Pulse is risky in general. These coins are so volatile. 98% of pump fund tokens never even make it. For the most part, you want to be able to scan the good tokens from the bad by knowing narratives and having convictions in your trades. So you can see here, this is a coin 41% top 10, 29% snipers. That might not be something I want to get into. We could look at what it is. Mirai. Okay, this is some type of AI play. I don't really like these type of plays anymore. When the market gets hot, these get really, really popular. I'm not going to trust it personally because I don't understand it. Some people will get in just because of the volume, but it isn't something that I would touch personally. So I'll go back into Pulse. I'm going to stick to my rules, and then we'll just check more. Higher, right? FU, higher. The narrative kind of speaks for itself. And the cool thing is you go on X and see what they're about. Fuck you, higher. And you see people are just posting it. Cheats out, gangsters in, higher. And you can see what's going on here. So you want to do research on any given coin before you get into the coin. Obviously, you can look here at how many holders are in the coin, how many pro traders are in the coin. Now, pro traders are people who are trading on bots like Axiom. So obviously you want to see high pro traders, not just holders, because these could be bots, but pro traders are less likely to be bots. So you see here, DEX is paid, and this is the tool that I was talking about, Focane, which actually fills the banner in for you. So you see it right away without going on DEX screener. So this is pretty cool. You could look at top traders. In top traders, you see a lot of these top traders are bundles. So this was probably a bundled coin from the beginning. You see all the top holders here as well. You see how much they're holding still, if they're in the coin still, if they're holding, if they're positive, if they're negative. All of this comes into play. These are all analytics that you want to pay attention to as you're in a coin. So in top traders, you can see some of the top P&Ls in any given token. So this is a relatively new one. We can find maybe something with a higher market cap. Let's look at Gigant here. Not really sure exactly what this is. We could look on the 30-minute, and you can see some of the traders that are tracked are being printed right on the chart. So you can see one of the top traders, somebody that we track, Loop, and he put in $500 and made over $7,000. That's over 10x on his trade. So if you find a trader like this, you go ahead and click on their contract address and you can see what type of trader this is. So you see this person has made over $500,000 in his total P&L. Last 30 days, over $50,000. 7 days, over $4,000. And if this is somebody that you want to track, you could go ahead and just click and rename it, and you can automatically add this person to your wallet tracker. If I just bounce around here and I go over to trackers, you can see here in wallet trackers, you go to wallet manager, and what you could do is add any wallet that you might have or see on Twitter or whatever the case manually. Now in Rage Pro, what I also do is I give you guys a full list of all the wallets that you must be tracking. And what you can do with that is just import that list or any other list you might have with any other bot and import it here. Now, one thing you want to look for when you're tracking wallets is people that are getting into the same trade around the same time. That might be some type of confirmation that this is alpha. And if you go back on Pulse, you could pull up the wallet tracker just like this, and you can see the live trades. In Rage Pro, we have an advanced wallet tracker where it shows you multi-buy signals automatically. So if 3 to 4 traders get into the same trade within a specific amount of time, it'll just put out a multi-buy signal and show you exactly what token that is, and you can do a little bit more research on it a lot faster. So it's really cool what we have here. Trackers also have Twitter trackers and Truth Social tracker as well, where you see Trump posts, because he tends to post first on Truth Social, and obviously he's a huge catalyst for the crypto markets and the economy in general, right? One of the most powerful people in the world right now. Now, you could customize your Twitter tracker here as well. You can see top subscriptions. Top subscriptions are the most followed accounts on Axiom. So you can take these and follow those. You can see a little bit of my list here. We have Elon, that's the creator of Pump Fund, news outlets. Elon, all of these different things. You could copy these, and Rage Pro actually give you the whole list for that as well. And if you go back on Pulse, what you can do is you could go to Twitter tracker and you can take it and you can hover it, you can put it on the right, but I like to generally put mine on the left, right? But for now, I'll just take that off. And then you can see here a few other things as well, like the price of Bitcoin, which is over 100K again. We are so bullish right now. And then we also have the price of Solana and Ethereum as well. Now on the bottom, it does tell you suggested fees in any given market. So if I go back to the higher coin, for example, it'll tell you the exact fees to get the best fills on this coin. So for right now, there's not much volume on it. So it's very, very, very low fees. But fees tend to go up the more volume there is in any coin so that you can get those fast fills still. So on the bottom, this is just connections. Depending on where you're at, you're gonna choose which server you wanna be a part of. And then over here, you could change and customize your colors for your Axiom. Now, the cool thing with Axiom as well is that you can trade perps right here in the same platform. You can see here just some technical analysis that we did on our live stream in Rage Pro yesterday. We was going over Fibonacci and I was just showing people how it looks like it was gonna break this area, and lo and behold, look at exactly what happened. Right, it's crazy. These are old drawings. That's just an example of perps, which you could trade straight in here as well, which is more risky as well, but we're gonna stick to meme coins just for the sake of this video. So those are the things that you wanna look for when you're trading. Now, the number one thing above all the analytics, above all the numbers, above all the wallet tracked stuff that you need to understand when you're trading is understanding the narrative. If it's trending, if it's relevant, if it's original, that's the thing that needs to pop up at you the most. If you understand it and it's funny to you, it's usually going to run. When you're staring at memes all day long and you're scanning, you're gonna see a lot of the same things pop up over and over and over again. Now, what that is going to do is build an eye for this. When something original pops up, it's going to be obvious. Now, we call this sitting on your hands, being able to just watch and scan without getting into any trades. In fact, if you're new, that's my suggestion, to just scan for a few days without getting into anything and just building an eye for the market. Now, when things pop out, it's gonna be a lot more obvious and you're gonna catch a lot more X's this way. You don't wanna be that person just hyper gambling on trades, on new pairs, on final stretch. It's better just sit on migrated, wait for something obvious to pop up. If you're in the VCs, don't just listen to any type of noise. Wait for everybody to come to a conclusion it's a runner, and that's when you're gonna make the most money. So sit on your hands and wait for alpha. That's the best and most important advice that I could give you guys. Okay, so the last thing now I'm gonna show you guys, we could go back to this chart here, higher, and what you guys wanna do is you wanna trade with instant trade. So you could click this button here and it's gonna pop up this whole thing. And this just gives you one less step when you're trading. So instead of pressing buy, choosing the amount, and then clicking buy, you just straight up click your buy right off the rip. And it's pretty cool. So you can see, for example, I could just press 0.25, I'm already in the trade. And that's how fast these fills are. And then I could press 100%, boom, I just made a little bit of profit. So that's how fast these fills are. They're literally godly with Axiom. And then what you can also do is limit orders. So if the market goes down a bit, let's say down here, I get in at 100K and put in a one sold buy and then press buy, and it will put me into that trade once the limit order gets hit. And same thing for sells. I can put a limit order and then set my target. Let's say I'm in the trade and I want to get out at 3x. I can just set my target, set the amount, 50%, 100%, and then press the limit order. And I don't even have to be there in the trade. It will take me out of order automatically by itself. This is gonna help you take the emotions out of trading when you have a runner. What up, guys? I'm trading live on Axiom Pro right now. You can see we got into a trade. This is a fog. You can see we put in 2 sol. We're up over about 4 sol now, about $1,000 in a trade. You know how I say it, $1,000 a day keeps the 9 to 5 away, right? 1 million, I'm gonna hold it. I think we got legs. We called this live in Rage Pro at 1 million. Everybody's in with size with over a 3x so far. So you can see how I called it. I like the narrative. So it's pretty crazy. You guys see, we're really doing this. I wanted to get in with more size, but it didn't dip, but all good. That's around 10% of my port anyway. I like the trade and it's going crazy. I took this before I started editing. Literally like an hour later, we're already up crazy. And that's not even counting all the cooks that we cooked on earlier in Rage Pro. Okay guys, and I also want to break down why I got into Fog. So the thing that I saw about this token is that the community was pretty strong and it was growing pretty fast. If you looked at the community when I first got into the coin, all I saw was people dropping memes about Fog, more pictures, more art. The community just kept talking about it, hyping it up, rating. Influencers that I follow, notable influencers that I follow, were already talking about it, and I just saw it as really, really low because volume is so hot right now and we're going back into a holder's market. So I saw this as something that could potentially at least 3x, 4x, 5x, and even more as the community grows, because sometimes it could be a slow cook all the way up to 10, 20 mil, right? But we take profits on the way up anyway. It was a low risk trade. I did want to get in with a lot more size, even for my port, because I did like it, but it didn't even dip, and that's fine. Right? Because I don't trade with so much risk. I want you guys to understand this is a realistic approach to trading, right? That was literally only 10% of my port. I could have showed you, you know, a way crazier bag with me over risking my entire account, but you know, I can also show you big losses from trading that way as well. So this is the best way to kind of stay consistently profitable and also really 10x your port over the long run. It's not hard, especially with 10, 20 sold, to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 a day even. Now, in the beginning, there is gonna be a learning curve. I don't want that to be the expectation, right? Because even if you can make $100 a day, that's more than the average American in today's society. Okay, so take it slow, and as you build your risk tolerance, as you build your skill level up, then you can increase accordingly, and that's how you want to take your trades, family. So that's kind of why I got into the trade, just so you can have an understanding of that. You know, there were no red flags on distribution. Distribution was chef's kiss beautiful, right? There were no bundles. Top 10 holders were looking good. Like everything was perfect on distribution, on analytics. But and then it was the community that really showed me that this can actually potentially be something, right? And not every trade is going to be a banger like that. Sometimes you'll break even, sometimes you'll take a small loss, right? Because the goal is to cut losses fast and let winners ride. Okay, and if you could keep doing that, and it's easier said than done, then you can have fun in the trenches and run it up crazy. Guys, volume is here. Solana's pumping back up. So I see the entire summer just being a crazy time for us to make a shit ton of money. So lock in, study, join the alpha group, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Just let me know what you guys want to see more of, less of, or whatever the case is. Let's run it up.